Hello, I'm J. Austin Bittner and welcome back to the Engineering Society of Baltimore, your club. Today I've got a riff off of a summer cocktail I've mentioned before in one of my earlier videos, which as season's starting to warm up a little bit, seems appropriate. This is called Negroni and the Goat. It was invented by Stephanie Izzard, who many of you might know was the first female winner of Top Chef. It's called Negroni and the Goat because of her restaurant Girl and the Goat, and she created this cocktail to win a contest. So it's a riff off of Negroni, which typically includes Campari, gin, and sweet vermouth in 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, if you recall. But this cocktail is a bit different. The proportions are not the same, and we also add some of the Saverna, which we've used in a previous cocktail. We also have this beautiful 1757 Vermouth di Torino, which we also used when we made the Boulevardier. And we've got Aperol here, which I've mentioned as being, slightly less bitter than Campari. And we use Bombay Sapphire Gin for this. So I'm going to, of course, always measure. First step is we're going to take our shaker and we're going to put some ice in it. And then we're going to use just 1/4 ounce of this Saverna Amaro, which, as if you recall, is a sweet, bitter, herbal liqueur. And this is just 1/4 ounce, so very small amount. Then we're going to use 3/4 ounces each of sweet vermouth. And it's interesting because Stephanie in her recipe says a well-aged sweet vermouth. So that's a very, non-specific in terms of brand, but this vermouth fits the bill. Again, use whatever you have on hand. And again, we have here the Aperol. And we always measure. So 3/4 ounces of that as well. And now, move on to the gin, which she calls for 1.5 ounces of gin. There we go. Now, in this case, according to our chef, we stir, we don't shake. So we're going to stir this. Mix those flavors up. Get it really nice and filled. I'm going to let that sit for a minute while next step is fill glass with fresh ice, and then we're going to strain over fresh ice. And we're going to garnish with fresh lemon zest. So we're just going to take our peeler, we're going to get a nice piece of zest. Drop that right in the drink. Give it a little shake. So this cocktail doesn't come across nearly as bitter as one might think, because the difference is we've got Aperol, which is a little milder bitterness, and the Verna, while it's bittersweet herbal, it's not that much. So what you really get that sings through here is beautiful gin and beautiful herb botanicals coming through a caramelly kind of like, if you could just suck on the little burned tinge parts of the top of creme brulee, it's kind of that beautiful burnt sweet sugar flavor. That's kind of like your baseline with all of these beautiful floral herbal botanicals floating up and down all around your palate with it. This is a beautiful summer cocktail. It's both refreshing as well as very interesting. So I say to you, enjoy a Negroni and the Goat. Cheers.